you're trying to be a good person, if you're working on yourself and you're nice to somebody and they're just mean back to you, no. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't just deal with it to get by.
Hallie, what is your worst advice?
Get my MBA and become a manager.
What will people think? Hallie, what will people think? I don't know.
When I ask you just kind of dodge the question.
I do.
And I don't understand why. And then I just am like, oh, that's weird. And then I forget about it.
Have I told you this?
No. This is...
This is like a superstitious thing that my mom always told me. She's like, you can't cut your nails at night or on Saturday. Another thing, don't be afraid of anything. Too bad that I was afraid of them. So...
Ew, why'd you say it like that? It destroyed me! This week, we're diving into the best and definitely the worst advice that our parents ever gave us. Some of it shaped us, some of it scarred us. Sorry, Mom and Dad, this might start to get a little controversial. These are the lessons that made Suketu and me who we are today. Let's get into it, Half Past Crew.
Welcome to
Half Past Ja.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Half Past Ja, where we drink some cha and spill it. We're your hosts. My name is Suketu.
My name is Hallie.
And if you can't already tell, we're an interracial married couple. I'm Indian.
I'm super white.
And that's what we talk about on this podcast. We talk about interracial relationships. We talk about relationships in general. We also get questions from you because you guys go to www.halfpastja.com where you submit your own questions and stories. At the end of this episode, there is a great question somebody asked, and so stay tuned for that. We release new podcast episodes every Monday at 7 a.m., but every other Monday will be a YouTube video, but we will still be posting something every Monday. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us 5 stars and follow the podcast to be notified when we do post. Thank you so much for spending your Monday with us. Settle in, get cozy, and grab your cha.
Oh God, that was hard for me to get through. Guys, we're just gonna be really real right now. Really quick before we get into everything. We're about to leave for like a week. And you know the anxiety that just builds up in your system before you go on a trip with the packing and the prepping and the planning of what's going to happen on the trip and thinking about what's going to happen on the trip. And I've got all my stuff over here, and Suketu just came in and was farting and just doing crazy stuff. And I'm in a goofy mood because I'm stressed out. I've been stress packing all day. And we had to do the intro like 10 times.
Anxiety causes gas to build up in my body, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, we got big things coming up, everybody. All right, so that's a problem for my intestines,
your gastrointestinal system.
Yeah,
I'm also gonna vacuum the house because why not stress clean the house while I'm at it? We're supposed to leave in like an hour.
Yep.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we can. We're gonna make this a great episode, everyone. Okay.
I'm in a goofy mood.
We're gonna talk about the best advice that our parents gave us first, and then we'll move into the worst. Oh. It destroyed me. So much trauma.
Ew! Why'd you say it like that? It destroyed me.
We're gonna first talk about the best advice. Now, with me, a lot of the advice that my parents gave me was financial based, but it's also all the stuff that I remember is just the money stuff because I think it was so valuable to me. I don't know. I guess it is. But the first thing, never spend money you don't have. This is just a classic thing that I learned how to use credit cards because of this statement. When you have a credit card, you have money that's technically not yours.
Okay.
And this statement helped me understand that if you spend it, then you're going to die. That's that's what I learned. So
I don't think
I related that to death. So I would never spend any money I didn't have.
Who related it to death? You?
Well,
just you.
I guess it's just me.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's a self-inflicted problem.
The next one was a credit card. Get a credit card. Turned 18, immediately got a credit card. I got the Discover It credit card. It was fantastic. It was great. And guess what I did when Hallie turned 18?
He got me a credit card.
I got Hallie a credit card.
Who would have thought?
It helped us build our credit to be able to buy a house so young. So you're welcome. You are welcome. I am
Thank you.
such a great person to be in your life.
Yeah. Did your parents ever tell you to be humble because you're not following that one?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, that's true. Save all your money. That was a big one. I think the reason that this one was
Are all these are all of them finance
most
based?
of them are. Let me get to the good ones in a
Okay.
second. But like the best other advice was save all your money, put it into retirement. Now, there's a good and bad part to this. I physically would be sick if I didn't like put money into savings every month. So like if I made money and I spent it all, I would literally I would feel sick about it. And so like it's a good thing that they said this to me, but it's also a bad thing because it totally made my view of money very anti-spend, right? And so it's still hard for me to spend money because of that. But that's another one.
You definitely don't love spending money.
I
I
don't.
can second that. That is one of the core principles you live by. Thou shalt not spend thou money.
Speaking of spending money, only buy things on sale. If you need something, you need to buy it on sale. And if you don't need it, you don't buy it at all. There you go. That was every morning. I remember every Saturday morning or something like that. We'd go to either Kohl's or JCPenney because those are the only ones that have the sales.
Kohl's Cash.
Kohl's Cash. So you got to get it on sale. If you need something, get it on sale.
What if it's not on sale?
Then don't get it.
You just never get. What if it never goes on sale?
Then you never get it.
What if it's something that you need and you're like, oh, well, it's not $5 on sale.
Well,
I'm not gonna put it in my cart.
Too bad, so sad.
See, I don't
Nope.
agree with that one.
You can't do it.
It's good to be smart about your purchases, but you can't just say, oh, no, not gonna do that because it's not on sale.
Yeah. Well,
If it's something that you need.
well, I don't know.
What if it's a toothbrush and you don't have one?
Get the cheapest one.
Okay, so you can still get one, but what if that's
It's
not
technically
on sale?
a sale
it's
if it's the cheapest one.
But what if it's a really bad one and it breaks? Then you have to
Okay.
buy another one, and then it breaks, and then
Well,
the next day you have to
okay.
buy another one.
That is something that my dad taught me this. If you're going to get something, get the best version of it.
But don't get it if it's not on sale.
Exactly. But
No, that doesn't make
he's
any
different. He's different. He's a little bit different. The biggest thing that he taught me was if you're going to buy something, get the best version of it. And then if you're going to do something, do it right the first time. Those were the two things that I remember him saying to me, because I remember I was trying to fix something and I took shortcuts, and also I didn't put the tools back where they were supposed to go. And he got so mad at me. So now that we own this house, it's if something isn't put back, that has been instilled in me. And I know you hate this when I say, hey,
it's funny because you don't put it back. And when you do put it back, you don't put it back right.
okay, I put things back where they need to be, but
No, you don't. I'm not trying to hate, but do you know how many times I've walked in and I've walked into the pantry and something where you get it from, it's on the opposite side. Not only that,
Okay.
but it's upside down as well.
the garage is organized very nicely. Our camera room and my desk, very nicely organized, exactly to the T. So I get where it's if I don't control the area, then I do have trouble putting things back to where this is my own issue at this point.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying it's fun. I didn't know that was one of the lessons that you learned. I didn't know that.
I mean, he hounded me for putting things back where they belong.
Oh,
So
okay. All
that's
right.
one thing that he always said. Okay.
I see. That's a good one to live by.
Another thing, don't be afraid of anything. Too bad that I was afraid of them. So that's the truth. I'm sorry to say it, but I was very scared of my parents at one point in my life. Not anymore. They're so opposite nowadays. But those are all the things that some of the best advice that my parents gave me to set me up for a great life. And Hallie has her own now.
I do. Number one, that my parentals gave me. You can do anything you put your mind to. Classic. Some may say basic, but it's a good one. My parents always tried to instill values in me that built me up to be confident, but self-aware as well. That you're smart, you're hardworking, we know you're talented, you can do X, Y, and Z, you can connect with people, whatever. You can do anything you put your mind to.
My parents would have said, you can do anything that you get an A+ in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. that kind of goes into some of mine as well, because it's interesting because my parents had differing opinions on this, because my dad was a smarty smart in high school, and no, actually, if you were to ask my mom, she would probably say that he didn't try very hard in school. He's one of those people that's really naturally smart. My mom, on the other hand, did try really hard. So they had kind of that balance there. And going into my second one that I have is enjoy, like, for example, high school. Enjoy high school, have a good time. And I did. I did not focus too much on grades because of my parents. They told me to have fun. My dad was always kind of harsh on me for grades. What was it called? Like Schoology or something? Where could they check your grades?
Yeah, Schoology.
Oh my God. My dad would be the one that checked my grades, and it would give me a heart attack because he would text me if I was at school, and he'd be like, "Why'd you get a B- on this quiz?" And I'd be like, "I don't know, Dad. I'm trying my hardest." But like, I wasn't full. I could have tried harder in high school, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because I also didn't think that I was super smart. I think that, like, my parents maybe told me I was these things for so long that I was like, "Oh, I'm smart." And then I was like, wait, actually, I'm not that smart. But it turns out I just wasn't applying myself.
Yeah. I have a funny story about what you just said about your dad checking online.
Oh, God.
So I was at work the other day, and one of our coworkers printed out a piece of paper. I was like, "Hey, like, we don't print things anymore." So I was like, "What are you printing?" And it was a sheet that showed that one of his kids didn't turn in something on time. So he was going to go home that day and show him on a piece of paper outlined in red, like, "Why didn't you turn this in?" And I'm just thinking, like, I feel like this is something that would happen to Hallie.
Yeah. Did your parents ever check your grades?
No. The only time they ever checked my grades was report cards, like when they came home. But they didn't know how to use the computer very well, so they never looked online or anything like that.
Were you ever scared to show them your report card?
No, because I always got A's. I think there's one time that I got a C, and it was a AP class, so they didn't really care too much because it was still like weighted kind of high. So it wasn't too bad. But there was only one time that I was afraid to show them, and that's when I had all F's because I had gone to India, and so I never took any of the final exams. It got fixed. I took the final exams after I got back, but I had to show them the report card. They were like, "Why are they all F's?" I'm like, "I'm going to take the exams. But it's because I was in India while there was final exams, and I forgot to tell them that I was going to India, so I couldn't take the test early.
You forgot to tell your teachers you were going to India?
I told them, but
that's kind of a big thing to not
I told
tell
them
somebody.
too late to have the test done by then. So then
Was that
I just had to take it
intentional?
afterwards. Maybe. I don't know. I had like so much longer to study for the test than normal people. Anyways, I got A's on everything.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah,
Well, you're smart, so I mean,
am.
it does make sense.
It is what it is.
Okay. But to that point, my mom always told me, she was more so the one that wanted me to, hang out with my friends and enjoy my sports. I played a lot of sports in high school, so mainly my focus was there. It's not like I was aiming to be a college athlete or anything, but I did want to enjoy my sports and enjoy talking to my friends. And I think the main lesson that she was trying to get at is don't ever put so much stress on yourself because it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to do the best that you can. And after that, it's out of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was very trusting that I was always doing the best that I can, and my dad as well. But I do have, this is a universal experience that I have told my dad about many times, but I don't think we talked about it till I was an adult, that I have so many traumatic memories of sitting at the table doing math homework with my dad. Because again, he's somebody who's very smart. Math, along with many other subjects in life, came very easily to him. To me, not so much. I'm somebody that always had to have tutors and have them explain to me and break things down for me just because that's how my brain works. I don't get something the first time around. I really have to work at it and get good at it. But then when I do that, I'm I'm successful in what I do. So interesting.
It is interesting because you did take longer on certain things, but when you did take longer, you were better at it than everyone else.
What do you mean?
Like when we were in, for example, like in college, when you were taking linear and stuff like that, like it took you a longer time to finish certain things, but when you did finish it, you would be better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think some people, and it's frustrating being somebody that has to work harder at things, that you see people who, like one of our friends who is just so smart, that Rushi.
Yeah.
He's so smart. He was so smart in school. And like you would always say that, like things came really easily to him. And you felt like you had to work hard compared to some other people that you were in school with. And like I was always somebody that had to work harder to do well at something. So that was one of the points that my parents tried to instill in me, is that I should have fun, do the best that I can, enjoy, high school and being young and life and all of that. Next, going along with that, don't stress the small things. I mentioned this a little bit in my last one, but this is because I remember vividly, my mom especially, I have always been kind of laid back, and it's really, I think, because of her and my dad. They're both very laid back in certain situations. There are obviously situations that call for being, a little bit more not laid back. I don't know, like more involved, hands-on. But there are people that always would say, is it life or death? Is it life or death? And hearing that and instilling that in my own life and really considering situations and weighing them on the scale of, is it life or death? Or is it, is it this bad? Or is it good or is it bad? Is it life or is it death? Is it like, really, is it that big a deal? And most of the time it's not. And so it was really important to me growing up and hearing them say that in many different situations and being like, okay, actually this isn't as bad as I think it is. And it's okay to be stressed about something, but don't take it to the extreme. You know what I mean? And we just had this conversation a few days ago because you were really stressed about something. And I always put something in the terms of, okay, is it life or death, or is it manageable? Can I do something about this, or is it out of my hands? And I think that's a really valuable lesson that you can learn to be able to manage your problems and manage your stress, because otherwise it can get out of hand and it can feel like the world is ending, even if it's not.
I think at least when I was growing up, everything was just a stressful situation. And I didn't recognize it then, but everything was just stressful. So to me, I've always found comfort in stress. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't make any sense, guys. It doesn't. I need some therapy for that. But it's like being like laid back and relaxed makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. So I really appreciate that your parents taught you that, because that levels us out a lot, and you teach me how to do it and force me to relax sometimes.
Yeah, well, like it's really truly not worth it to put that kind of stress on your body and on your heart, because yeah, we're young now, but if there are other factors with that as we get older, I mean, that can really start to take a toll on your body if you let yourself get really overwhelmed and stressed out about every situation. And don't get me wrong, there are situations that you should be stressed about. But is it good stress or is it bad stress? I think of good stress as excitement, a little bit of anxiousness that can kind of propel you forward. Like, for example, in our business, we want to book a client for July or whatever that we can maybe start a contract with. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good kind of stress because I'm excited to do it. I'm looking forward to it. And it's a new opportunity.
Yeah.
Whereas bad stress is something, and there are bad things. You can't control what happens, right? Most of the time you can't control anything. I mean, there are certain things within your environment that you can control, but if it's out of your environment, it's important to recognize that. But again, there are some bad things that happen that you can't really do anything about. So that's a time where bad stress is present, and you have to recognize the difference in how you react to it. And that's a lot of what my parents taught me growing up.
We're going to move into the worst advice that our parents have given us. This one, number one, is don't talk back, especially to older people. I think this is honestly a good thing. Like, you got to respect your elders, make sure you don't talk back to them. But if they're going to say some shit, you better know that I'm going to talk back. And so that's just something that I've started to realize. Like, respect is super important. You have to respect everybody, but it's when your voice or somebody says something ill-intended towards you where you need to speak up.
Oh, absolutely. And this kind of goes in with one of my points, not to skip around or anything, but you start to learn that, okay, well, I shouldn't talk back to anybody. And it takes 2 seconds for somebody to disrespect you or walk all over you. And you got to be kind of, I don't want to say rude, like don't come off rude, but always know that in the back of your head, somebody could flip a switch and be rude to you, and be prepared to not let yourself get taken advantage of in that way. Yeah. Because it's really easy for people to disrespect you.
Yeah, don't ever get walked over.
No, don't you dare.
The next one is engineer, doctor, or failure. Pick one.
Oh.
Like you gotta pick, okay? You gotta do one of these things, like engineer, doctor, become a lawyer, do these things. And it's not like I was forced to do it, right? It's not like I was like, oh, like you have to be an engineer. It's my environment was like so small to the point where those are the only options that I got. So that's all I thought I had in terms of my options. When my passion came up, which was video creation and like content in general, that was something I was so good at. Like I loved making videos. I loved making content. And I started doing that in high school. And when they were so supportive. Like my parents were super supportive. But the one thing they always said was like, keep it a hobby, keep it a passion. Like you can do it. Like that's awesome that you're doing it. But to be stable, you have to be an engineer, right? And it made sense at the time. You know, they want me to be a successful person. They don't want to have to take care of their kid for the rest of their lives. So they want him to have a good career. And so at the time, I did think this was like good advice. But now, like if I were to have kids or something, I would definitely be more on the side of if you're good at something and that is what you're passionate about, you gotta go for it. Like you just have to. Like there's not enough time in this world that you can't just go try to do what you're actually good at. Like I was good at being an engineer, but what I am really good at, what I can spend time doing 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day is making videos. And so it's like, yeah, I'm glad I did what I did, but at the same time, I wish that I had I wish I had the risk tolerance to just go all in on video from the beginning and see where I would have been by now.
Yeah, but that's not something, you know, like you didn't recognize that at the time. You do now because you've experienced that.
Yeah.
And you now have worked in your job for however long, and you have skills from there that have led you to understand, oh, okay, well, maybe it could have been possible back then, but I just didn't try because I didn't know. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I'm glad I tried the way I did, but still, I feel like the advice itself, like to be these three things, like you have to, I truly think that advice is very limiting to a human being. So that's why I think it's bad advice.
Well, also, you got to understand where your parents are coming from, right? That's, I would say, a generational thing. If you think about when they were growing up, you know, you really did have to find something stable. It's such a different time now than it is back when our parents were our age. So that's a big thing to consider as well. Also, your parents came here, they immigrated from India. They were just trying to survive.
Exactly.
They wanted you to be able to survive and be happy and have money and be stable.
Exactly. I agree with that. The next one, don't hang out with white girls. No, I'm just kidding. Don't hang out with girls too much. People will talk. And this is the first time that this happened was in high school. Like I went to a football game at a high school and I took a picture with a girl, and I think my mom saw it and she was like, "What? Like, don't do that."
What?
And so that was a bad, that was one that is bad advice. Guys, you need to hang out with women. All right. It's important. You got to do it. You got to talk to the other gender. And if your mom says not to, don't listen to her.
Don't be a mama's boy.
Exactly.
All right. Don't be like, oh, well, my mommy said I can't, so I'm not allowed to talk to you. Otherwise, okay, like you need to socialize with people. Okay. You just need to put yourself out there a little bit. Socialize with, like, good for me to socialize with guys because I don't want to just associate with girls the whole time, because then how would I expect myself to find a guy if I don't know how to talk to him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It's like it's something that you really need to think about, because there are some damaging things that can happen if your parents especially tell you like not to talk to a boy or not to talk to a girl, because then you start to associate that being bad, like that's bad.
Taboo.
And so then you hide things from them, and then it turns into a whole nother issue. And so bad, not good advice.
Well, yeah, because then you'll want to do exactly what they tell you not to do. Or sometimes, okay, it's 50-50 on whether you'll be like, oh, I'm going to listen to my parents and not do that thing. Or I want to do that thing, so I'm going to go do it. And then that's just going to push you farther away and distance yourself. And
if you listen to them, then you'll turn into like the weirdo that doesn't talk to anybody.
Oh.
And that's not good either.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember this so well. My mom said, do not cut your nails at night or on Saturday. And I it's just the stupidest advice, but I physically can't cut my nails at night or on Saturday. So Hallie's been telling me to cut my nails for a few days, and she always tells me at night. And
oh my gosh, cut those.
I know. And she always tells me at night, and I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. And she's like, why can't you just do it right now? And I don't think I've ever told you this. Have I told you this?
No, this is
This is like a superstitious thing that my mom always told me. She's like, you can't cut your nails at night or on Saturday. And I have no idea if somebody could explain this to me. But I still, to this day, I mean, I've been told it my whole life. So like, I still don't do it. Like I've never cut my nails at night or on Saturday. And so this is new information.
Well, let's call her and let's find out.
I would love to. I'll find out soon.
That's so interesting. I've never heard that, because like to that point, when I ask you, you just kind of dodge the question.
I do.
And I don't understand why. And then I just am like, oh, that's weird. And then I forget about it.
I dodged that question pretty heavily. Okay, the next one. Don't be in the sun too much or it'll get too dark. Bruh, like what? I was like, I always wanted to be outside, but I remember like you can't be in the sun too much. And like, I'd always have to wear like a hat to protect my face, which I get that sun damage, but like the whole being too dark thing was like such a negative thing. Like if you got too dark in the summer, then you don't look good. And now Hallie over here is like, I really like when you look so dark, you know, like it's just it's an opposite, and it hurts my brain to think about it. But
well, in the summertime, I don't know, because that's when I first met you. I feel like if you were to live in India or a place that's sunny all year round, that's what you would look like. And it's not like you completely change, like it's not like you don't look recognizable. You know what I mean? Yeah. You look the same. It's just, it looks healthy in a weird way.
Interesting.
Like it looks
the way that I'm meant to look.
Yeah. I mean, and well, like I don't want you to be in the sun too much either because of sun damage. So that's why it's important that you wear sunscreen and you have on your face, obviously SPF lotion. And so that's important. I don't think that you should be just baking in the sun all day long. However, it's okay to be in the sun, and you thrive. You love the heat. You love the sun. That's why I think it's good for you. Also, the sun just naturally boosts your mood. On the other hand, I burn to a crisp. So it's good that I'm not outside. Yeah. I can be outside for limited amounts of time, but I need to wear layers or I need to wear sunscreen everywhere I go. So there's that.
My last advice is the worst advice that I've ever gotten in my life. It is, you have to marry an Indian girl. What will people think?
I don't know.
Hallie, what will people think? I don't know.
And
guess what? I married a white girl. And so bad advice, just because it's not like I have anything against Indian women. Like Indian women are beautiful. But the issue that I had was that I wanted to be with Hallie. That's why.
Well, this kind of goes back to the whole thing of your parents telling you to do something and you want to do the opposite of that.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest thing. They always had said, like, even in like, oh my God, in like 9th grade or like 10th grade, I think I like was hanging out. I started to hang out with girls and they were like, you have to marry an Indian girl. You know that, right? And I was like, like that was the first day I was like, because they told me that, now I don't want to.
See,
if they had said from the beginning, like, oh, you have to be with a white girl, then I probably would have been with an Indian girl today.
Reverse psychology.
It's got to be reverse psychology. So there it is.
Maybe this is what they wanted all along.
That's it. Hallie, what is your worst advice?
Oh, God. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry. But probably the number one thing, and it doesn't come from a place of ill intent. This does not have bad intentions behind it. But to get my MBA and become a manager, guys, I don't know if you know me. I hated school. And I also am not the biggest fan of working a job till I die. And listen, it's a very tricky subject. I respect anyone who takes that path. If you want to further your education, amazing. I'm so here for it. I congratulate you and I cheer you on. If you want to become a manager or move up the corporate ladder, again, you're amazing. Not everybody's meant to do that though. And I realize that as I get older. And I've wondered why I struggle so much, why I struggled in school, why it was so hard for me. That's not my strength. Not taking tests is not one of my strengths. Certainly getting my MBA is not one of my strengths. I'm not a business person per se. I don't understand the finance and I don't even know like what do you do for an MBA? Like I don't even know. Master's business.
It's like you could
what?
It's
What is it? I don't even
Masters
know.
in Business Administration. It's like
Oh.
a whole. It's. You can pick what you want to do. You can do you can do an MBA in marketing. You can do it in accounting. You can do it anything. Anyways, it's. I think getting an MBA is great.
It is, yeah.
Do it if you want it, but if you are not good at school, or if you just don't want to go back to school, then don't get an MBA. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing too. I had to put it in the worst advice because it doesn't really apply to me, because I thought maybe at one point that's what I wanted and that was a stable path that I could take, but I don't want that. That's not who I am, and I don't feel like pursuing something and spending money on something that doesn't really define me at all.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that is at all. That would be such an opposite direction of who I want to be. And again, if that's what you want to do in your life, I'm so happy and I'm so here for it. However, I'm somebody very different and I hated school, so I don't want to go back. Next, be nice to everyone. Oh, this is one. This is very tricky because yes, while it is important to be nice to everyone and treat everyone with respect. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. That's the golden rule, right? To live by. Treat everyone the way you want to be treated. While you can have all the good intent in the world, not everybody feels that way in their own lives, right? There have been so many situations in my life where I approach a situation with somebody who maybe I don't know very well. I approach it in a way where I'm positive and respectful and happy, and I just get completely disrespected back, okay? And over time and time and time again, I have learned just how important it is to stand up for yourself and not always just to be nice and, oh, let it pass. No, sometimes you need to bring stuff up. You need to make it uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to have uncomfortable conversations. And yes, it's taken me 26 years to learn this, but I like being this way. I think it's good to have hard conversations. If you and I were avoidant in our relationship,
we wouldn't have a relationship.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, and that's kind of branching off into something different. But bottom line is that being nice to everyone really taught me to be a people pleaser. And it's been something that I've been very aware of in the last couple of years because I just get burned when I'm always nice to people. You have to be a little in life.
Oh, interesting.
Can you bleep that out?
Yeah, I can bleep that out. Dang.
But you do know, I was just talking with somebody about this yesterday. You have to be a little in life because otherwise people are going to walk all over you and disrespect you. And you know what? You don't deserve disrespect. Well, 9 out of 10 people don't deserve disrespect. There are some people out there that just suck, and maybe you do deserve some disrespect. But if you're putting good out into the world, if you're trying to be a good person, if you're working on yourself and you're nice to somebody and they're just mean back to you, no. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't just deal with it to get by. Okay, you deserve respect and you deserve to stand up for yourself because if you don't stand up for yourself, nobody will.
I agree. Look at that. Boss.
You agree? Well, I'm, again, working on it. I can't say I'm an expert in this. It takes time, and it's okay to hurt people's feelings back if they hurt your feelings first. Last but not least, money doesn't matter as long as you're happy. No, money does matter. And I understand where this is coming from.
The only reason Hallie thinks that is because I shove it down her throat.
Yeah, and well, see, look, it's not like I had $1 million when I was a child. Okay, I wasn't the wealthiest person in the world. Yeah, we had money to do things, but it wasn't everything. And I liked it that way because I didn't think about it that much. But now I see in our relationship, money does matter. But also money doesn't make you happy. So it's kind of a tricky concept.
So the way I'm hearing you say this is that money does matter, but it's not correlated to happiness.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can have a lot of money, but you could also be not happy. Or you could have no money and still be very unhappy. Like it has no correlation to one another. And I think that's something that we've both grown to realize.
Yeah, well, I think what I'm trying to get at is that my parents, like I said, didn't have a ton of money, okay, but they had what they had and they were happy, right? Because they were just happy with it, and they had family because they taught me that there's so much more to life than just having money. So I understand their perspective. So I don't even know if this fully goes in the worst advice I've received, but it is good to, obviously, if you have money, that's great, but it's more important to spend time with the people around you and value your family and value your time on this earth, because those are things that you can't get back. Also, to play devil's advocate on that, money does matter. And just because you're happy doesn't mean that you shouldn't care about money. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not saying that this is what my parents did, but in general, people that say, oh, money doesn't matter, it'll come back, I'll just spend whatever I want. It's not good to have that mindset. I know people like that. And I don't think that that's very well thought through.
If you don't plan, it's just like normal life. If you don't plan your life out 50 years in advance to know, then you're not going to have anything to live off of when you can't work.
Oh, but you can be happy. Well, that's not going to get you by. You actually do need some money.
Listen, one thing that I realize now is you becoming good at managing your money will help the people that are in your life when you do get to an age where you can't take care of yourself.
That's true.
And so that's why it's so important to manage your money properly, have a good amount of in retirement when you do need that money. And your family, your future family will thank you to have that. So then they don't have to spend their money to take care of you. That is all our best and worst advice. We're going to go into one last question from you, where you can go submit www.halfpastshot.com so you can submit your stories and questions. Thank you for submitting this question. I've been in a relationship with a Muslim girl for 3 years and 8 months, and I am Gujarati and Hindu. Since the start, we both knew from day one that we would have to break up with the difference in faith and religion, but we still continued to date because we loved each other, enjoying each other's company. I had brought her over multiple times as my friend, and my parents loved her. My parents are very old-fashioned Gujaratis. They wouldn't want me being with a Muslim girl. Eventually, we decided to mutually break up. I was really upset, and my mom realized this. So I told her everything. I told her that she was actually my girlfriend the whole time, and she freaked out. She was like, I will not accept this. And my dad was like, we're going back to India, and so on. Obviously, it's tough for both of us, and I've been put into a position where either I've got to convert to Islam to marry her or go against my parents. Could I have your thoughts on this? All right. This is a very tough question. This is something that I've seen so many times in the last, 6 months. Somebody saying, hey, I'm with an Indian, like a Muslim person saying that I'm with a Hindu, or the opposite. And it's such a difficult thing because the older generation just cannot fathom these two mixing together. And it's just like in their mind, it's not possible. And so to break that barrier, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it's like you won't be able to break that barrier. And as hard as you try, you can force them to think it that way. But in the back of their heads, they've been living like this their whole life, where somebody's told them that one or the other is bad, right? Like India thinks Pakistan's bad. Pakistan thinks India's bad. So there's like just no way to physically think about this. It's honestly, first of all, thank you for submitting the question. It's a very personal question, and it really is hard to talk about this because you probably don't know what to do at this point.
Or even who to talk to about this, because I don't know if you have siblings, but I don't know how they view the situation as well.
Yeah, and there's no right answer to this. It sucks because I don't think anyone can tell you what to do either. So there's that. And whatever choice you make, you deserve to have clarity on it, and you deserve that people respect it. So if you stay with her, it has to be because you're ready to like stand up for yourself, what you want, knowing the consequences. And if you part ways, that doesn't mean the relationship wasn't meaningful. That's still a part of your life, right? Think about what you really, truly want. There is no right answer. And I'm so sorry that I can't give you like, hey, you can do this, boom, and that's it. But it's such a complicated issue.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
With everything going on. I can't imagine how hard this situation is to navigate. And I'm sorry that you're going through this, that you love somebody and it's this hard. Love shouldn't be this hard. Life is what is making things complicated, and other people around you and other people in the world make things like this complicated. And it's just a heavy situation. And I have no idea at all how this situation goes between people or what it feels like. And again, I'm just so sorry that you're going through it. But I'm thinking about people who have such a fixed mindset. There's nothing you can do to change that mindset. For them to be able to see something differently, it will take something big to change their mind.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like they loved her as your friend. And then, they realized that you were together and then your mom freaked out. Classic.
Classic.
Yeah. Just like you were saying, I think it's important that if you do want to pursue this relationship, you have to know fully, all right, this is going to be really hard. This is going to be a long, bumpy road ahead. And we have to be a united front to be able to prepare for something like that. Or if it doesn't work out, if you both mutually agree that this isn't something that you can pursue, then so be it.
Yeah.
I think, again, you have to be very on the same page with her in understanding what you both want and what you're willing to do and what you're willing to risk, because unfortunately there is a lot at risk in this situation, even though that's not to say that your parents couldn't change. I think they could. I think if you prove to them that love is love, you can make it work despite your differences, and that you both celebrate each other and lift each other up in your differences, and that you just come together at the end of the day. And, as long as you prioritize family, and I don't know, I'm not familiar with the Muslim culture, but I'm sure that family is a big part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think as long as you have the same core values, then you can make it work. But again, that's just my piece of advice. I've not been through this situation like that, but I wish the best of luck to you. Not you.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Thank you for your question. There was issues with the audio, and that is why we are here right now in California re-recording this. If you have another question, go to www.halfpastcha.com, and we want you to DM us some of the weirdest advice your family has given you, and we might share it next time. And as always,
We'll see you next time on Half Past Cha.
guys, hello. This is the end of the episode because we messed up the audio. It's our fault. We got Zucker here.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. Sorry about the audio. That just cut out. This is Suketu because
Hello.
the original Suketu got fired for that mistake. So we don't let mistakes happen here at Half Past Cha.
We don't know Suketu anymore, and he no longer wears glasses.
No, this is Suketu, everybody. Don't get mistaken.
In the carpet?
Yeah. I vacuum. I was going to quickly vacuum
The
this.
whole house?
Yeah, probably. I have
I can't live like this.
anxiety. It keeps on trying me. Anxiety. Now I have coffee, so it's worse.
Ah! Oh. All right, ready? One.
Why'd you say I can't live like this?
All right, ready?
I can't live like
One,
this.